Hello, everyone.
Hello,
I am Alex.
and I am Mariella.
Yeah, welcome to today's um energy. What do we call it? I think there's like a name. Monthly energy reading, monthly energy, the monthly energy current. I don't remember the words we're using right now. But
That's fine.
welcome to the
Yeah,
month
we're
of
good.
March. And tomorrow, or when it is posted, it might be today. But we're at the new moon in Pisces. So, yay. And we just had International Women's Day. So here we are. We
That's
are the last
right.
zodiac sign um of the we're at the last of the zodiac signs. So we're at the end of this zodiac year. Um which is I love Piscean energy. Wait. I love Piscean energy and I hate it because it's my moon sign and it causes me to be a very emotional and sensitive person. I'm working on all kinds of self-regulation and I'm working on my mental health. But I'm a very feeling-based person, which
Not more than me. My rising sign is Pisces.
So she embodies it. We all see that in her, which is what we love.
Yeah, we love Alex too.
Mhm. So we love Pisces, and Pisces also can feel like a lot. Um,
Yeah, lots of emotions.
mhm. But it's like deep and like the Piscean energy is known as that universal love, like a higher consciousness, a bigger capacity, not just so it's not just like little emotions here and there. It's like also this bigger awareness around like connection to everything, which I think is one reason why obviously we're into this stuff. Exploring energy, we're very connected to it, but also why it can be so hard sometimes to see what's going on in the world and not feel it so like I feel like I feel it when I
You think you feel it more than others?
um maybe I'm just comfortable feeling that it's easier like but imagine if everybody really let themselves feel what was going on in the world, it would not be going on. But um I can easily just imagine myself to the best of my ability in someone else's place and it feels horrible. I mean, it can also feel like positive, but usually it's like I'm very aware of the suffering, which is very hard. But anyway, we love Piscean energy. It's wonderful and amazing. It's the end of the zodiac.
Yeah,
Here we
we love
are.
all the signs and we don't like the signs sometimes. It depends what's going on in our lives.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about um, kind of what we've been hearing about the energy. We will talk about some of our own experience, and then we're going to pull some cards for this new moon in Pisces for this month. Um, Mariella, pass it on to you.
Okay, so we can start with what we have been feeling in terms of energy around these times. It feels like maybe the end of February and what it feels that it's coming in the month of March as we start the month. Um, and so we were just talking right before this recording between Alex and I, and it feels like there's a lot of emotions and very strong energies happening so fast as we have so much coming in with all the planets that were forward at the same time as well, right? And so Alex was saying she needs a retrograde to slow down the energy because it is so much. And I can see myself and other people at work and people around me. It is a lot going on. It feels like we're taking so much. It feels like what we were doing before um, is more than usual.
Hmm.
Um, and people are talking to each other uh, because, when you get so many intense emotions, you need to talk. And well, it didn't help for me yesterday that I had so much coffee because that really um, fueled my talkativeness.
Hmm.
But so today there's a lot of things going on in astrology, but also tomorrow is the new moon in Pisces. And for that, Pisces is about feelings, but it's also about um, imagination, like going out in the mind, not out, but inside the mind, out or in, because outside is the same, right?
Oh,
Whatever goes inside, it's reflected outside. And and so it feels like this time before the 22nd of March is a time to get ready for um, more intense energies in other ways because it seems like people are starting to feel like things are not quite right and that we are ready to change things a little bit. And so for um, can I just go with the cards?
okay. Yeah. She's like, I pulled some cards for us and I need to talk about them. Yes, Mariella,
Oh,
please.
really? Because,
Yeah,
well, I'll tell you first. I
please.
just got two cards from the tea leaf fortune cards.
Hmm.
Um, this is, um, I am very excited about these cards. I really like them.
Mhm.
And so I got the dog close up, pleasure with a close friend, and diamond, you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift.
And what were these cards for?
These ones are for the new moon.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
And so it's very interesting. I was just telling Alex about the eclipse, and that is coming on the 25th of March, and the the next eclipse after that in April. That is happening on April 8th. It's they are very close to each other, hey? I didn't realize.
One lands on the new moon and one lands on the full moon. One is a lunar eclipse and one is a solar eclipse.
Yes. So the April one is the
One
solar
will be an
eclipse.
internal eclipse and one will be like an external eclipse.
Uh-huh. And so the March 25th lunar eclipse is penumbral. It means that the shadow doesn't cover the whole moon. Um, but people are calling it Jonah eclipse, the Jonah eclipse. And do you know what Jonah means?
Mm-mm.
It's a gift from God.
Oh.
And the diamond is showing that, like exactly what it means. You'll be receiving or giving a precious gift.
Hmm.
And so, from when I was getting the information about the Jonah eclipse, they were talking about how a gift can be something really precious and very important for somebody. But when it's a gift of God, it's like this immense gift that you're going to receive.
Mm.
And so they were talking about not being fearful of the changes, because it is actually a gift that is given to us that we are going to enjoy so much after.
Mm.
And so, dog close up, pleasure with a close friend. I feel like, as we were talking about, we are talking to each other and not feeling like we're quite in the right spot, or things are not in the place we want them to be. And so we're just talking to each other to see, what do we do next? How do we change all these things? Because we are not feeling satisfied.
Hmm.
Your turn.
Mm.
I hold on. I have other cards for the other like eclipse, but
We'll hold those.
yes.
Okay. Um, yeah, well, you said it all really well, Mariella. There's this, um, like the best way to describe it is like this low level anxiety of speed and um intensity, and it's happening like as I look at the world around me and the people around me, and I interact with a lot of people, everything is just happening fast, and there's like a state of overwhelm attached to it. And I do trust that we've been going through a lot the past few years, showing us that we have the capacity to handle all this. But we really need to take care of ourselves, and we need to take care of each other, to be able to get through it. And so, um, yeah, that overwhelm piece, I think, is key to us reaching out. Otherwise, because I feel like if when we're
Comfortable.
in this energy, right? We're more like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? I don't like this. I don't know what to do. I mean, some people collapse and fall in on themselves for sure. But sometimes people are just really depressed and do kind of like sink away. But I feel like this energy is so active that it's like encouraging or forcing more engagement, which is great, um, on many levels. But it's a lot,
It
and
is
it
a lot.
feels very overwhelming. And um, I'm not sure if anybody's starting anything new, but I know many people who are on this, who are experiencing a lot of newness, and it's a lot. It is a lot, but it's amazing at the same time. Um, and this new moon, that dreamy, intuitive energy of Pisces, I feel is like we have so much going on, and it just wants us to like connect to our dreams and like possibility. And I love that energy because it's not just meant to be like fantasy and illusion, like, or disillusion, but it's like what is possible. And I feel like this energy that we're experiencing is also about possibility because there's so much, and it's happening so fast, and we can't really overthink it. We kind of have to just keep going. And I think that's something we kind of touched on last time too, is there's just so much that we're just kind of present, and it's just happening, and we're fumbling forward, and we're navigating it as we go. Um, but not so being present, but also having that capacity to expand into those dreams and possibilities. So I really like that energy. Yeah. Anyway.
Very nice.
So, yes. So, but we have well, we have a lot going on, but
Yeah.
this month is obviously we hit our equinox, right? Which for us in the northern hemisphere, we're like, more sun, more warmth, like please let it come. Um, but we
Yeah,
have
but with measure.
yeah,
We
yes.
get fires too.
Mhm. Yeah, we get lots of flooding here. Um, so we have that coming we have the astrological new year, so we move into Aries, which is like that beautiful spring energy, that moving forward, that like determination, like the, the seeds, the unfurling, things bursting through the dirt kind of energy. So we have that starting to arise, which is really cool. Oh, and I guess Pisces would be like, a seed has all the imprints already in it. It's like all the possibility is already within them. And then really it's like, are the conditions right for them to then burst through, right? And the Aries is that bursting through opening energy. But we have that right along our eclipses, which are falling within, of course, our north nodal axis. So we have
That's
Libra,
right.
Libra and Aries, and
Yeah.
Aries is the ourselves, like trusting ourselves, loving ourselves, building relationship with ourselves. Yes, it can also be selfishness, self-centeredness, other things. But it's asking for us to step into our highest vibration of the Aries energy when it's in the North Node. And when we have Libra in the South Node, it's having us look at the underside of our relationships and connections to one another. So that's where we might feel a lot of relational tension as well, and shifts happening. And so the eclipses are running through those two those two things. You want
Yeah.
to touch on some of that?
Well, it just came to mind that I have my birth nodal axis
Mhm.
in Libra and Aries.
Mhm.
It'll be very interesting. And I don't know if I've shared before, but my dad is Libra and my mom is Aries. And so we will see what happens with that. Very interesting. And
Yeah. So
so, yeah,
like wherever Aries is in our chart and Libra is, like those are the life areas that are going to be significantly affected in our lives over this next year with the lunar eclipses falling within them.
I
So
just feel that all the energies fall on me.
I hear you.
Whatever's happening, it's on Mariella. And I feel it all every time. Oh, okay. And so, yes, March 25th is in Libra, the moon eclipse, and April 8th is the total solar eclipse in Aries. Another thing that I was sharing with Alex that I have been, um, like I've seen in YouTube channels from astrologers or channelers, intuitive people, is that there's like a connection, there's a conversation about these two specific eclipses and the possibility of the blackout days. And they are talking about the 3 days. I don't know where they got that from, but there is this sense that there might be a blackout with internet and communications, and that will give us, like Alex was saying, the seed, so that we can touch ground and remember what it's like not to have all those things and just reconnect with each other. And they were also talking about like how people might feel like there's a lot of fear about it and not being able to talk with other people that are in other parts of the world or continue working, things like that. Um, but it's not supposed to last long, and I am really interested in seeing if that happens or how it happens. Um, it's not like something we got, or Alex or I, that information. But also, the other two cards that I got for the solar eclipse, One is fire and one is the eye.
Oh, okay. So which one is the fire?
The fire one says strong emotion, passionate love, or hate.
Right, and that was for the first eclipse?
For the second eclipse, for the solar one in Aries in April. And the eye says psychic ability, trust your intuition.
Mm,
So it's very interesting to me because it's like Aries is fire, right?
mm,
And they are also talking about solar flares. So I'm just
mhm,
thinking maybe any of that has to do with what's going to happen.
mm,
And the other conversations that I've heard is that of as developing extrasensorial abilities.
yeah.
And because we are so busy with our lives and busy with the new technology with communication, we haven't had that break or space where we can really touch on those things. And
Mm,
so, yeah, with Aries, also on the 22nd, not Aries itself, but Mars enters Pluto, no Pisces. And so we will have some of that struggle inside of that fire that we feel inside mixed with the Piscesness energy, with
mm,
what Alex was saying, the imagination and fantasy, or what is real, what do I want to let go really, what is it that I don't want. Um, and so it was saying something around, I went into astrology.com, finding out what's the balance in your life. That will be really interesting because I already feel that energy.
mm.
Have so much going on, like I want to find my stability.
Yeah, yeah. I want to share, Mariella. So I pulled some cards for the eclipses as well. And the first card I pulled was for the first eclipse, and I got the
The
wild.
wild woman.
Mhm. So I recognize I don't have the book here with me, but the wild woman archetype is like in her own raw and wild nature. Now, I did pull the card upside down.
Ah, interesting.
Um, so we might, when you think of that really authentic, raw, and truthful nature, we might have some challenges with that arise. Um, and I'm like, oh, interesting. So with the first eclipse, this wild woman arose. But for the second eclipse, I pulled two cards stuck together. So the card that I could see was this beautiful heart of the sky, which I was like, oh, that feels very like, I don't know, just beautiful. And then the other one was the arrow
Oh, upside down.
and upside down. So the arrow, obviously, there's like direction, right? And focus and a level of clarity. So I wonder, um, these two, this is kind of like that expansive, like that Piscean consciousness, that heart, that unconditional love for the world, but then maybe some challenge with direction or specificity or clarity of some kind, maybe. Um, yeah, I love these cards. I pulled one more card, but it was for the whole month. Did you pull a card for the whole month?
No, I pulled one for the new moon and one for the full moon.
Oh, okay. So I pulled this card for the month, which is You Are Not Alone.
That's so interesting. Can I tell you why?
Sure.
Because on March 21st,
Mm-hmm.
that's right after the spring equinox. And I don't remember what planets are interacting, but there's a power buildup Um, and there will be this energy where you are looking at things the way they really look like,
Mm.
and many people might feel lonely
Mm.
because they're going to maybe feel or think that they realize these things, but they have that just for themselves and might not know how to communicate with others. So there's no connection.
Mm.
So there's the energy of loneliness.
Mhm. Well, yeah, and the idea when I think of the you're not alone, it says isolation, physical connection, community. And we've talked a lot about like that need to connect and but how connection can be so outside of just you and me. We can be connecting with ourselves, we can connect with divine source, universe, spirit guides, like whatever it is outside of nature,
Yeah,
anything outside of yourself that you connect to.
yeah,
Mm. But I do feel like this is like that idea of we need to reach out to each other to get through these strange periods of time. And community is really important. Finding your people while you navigate your transitions, because I've heard some very similar things from different people that you just said, um, about like new truths and realizations, like where things are just like clear and they finally make sense in a new way, like due to what's going shifting in our mind. And yeah, like just deeper truths, um, that are can be surprising. Hmm.
just want to tell you, for the, what is it called? The full moon.
Hmm.
Um, I got a blessing from your ancestors, and I really like when you were talking. I like something that just came up was that feeling, and I think we've talked about this before. It's like re. It's not that we are discovering or inventing things, but more of remembering
Hmm.
what our ancestors already knew, like
Hmm.
going back to basics almost.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that would make sense if we have some disconnection with technology.
Yeah. And when I think of like time, um, we always talk about the future and we talk about the most recent past, and we seem to put the past kind of down in some ways because they are like so far behind.
Yeah,
But what I feel like we just continuously forget is that the reason we feel so disconnected is because we got disconnected from source, whatever. But our ancestors, before, like you said, before a lot of this, before Christianity, before, um, had sources of connection to the world and connected on such a deep level that like we need to access that. That's in our DNA. And there is beautiful truths that are from them that we just don't access, but it's like literally living within us, asking us to like be known again. Yeah, a great remembering.
yes,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, I really like that. Like not putting down what's our past history.
Hmm.
And even like with Christianity and what has recently happened, like there's so much wisdom within all those things. We just have to find um, the balance between the mind and the heart and really know
Mm-hmm.
Um, for the new moon, I got a blessing for peace of mind. And I feel like that is something I really need right now.
Yes.
Like there's so much going on. I just need one break and have some peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny with these two clients that I saw this weekend actually. Peace was one of the things they were asking for. Like one of the questions I ask is what is it that you want to feel? Like after we talk about what's brought them, it's like what do you actually want to feel or
Yeah.
connect with? And I was like, peace. And it's like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
too much is not better.
Mm-hmm.
We think that more is better. More work, more money, more things, more.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember when we had so much time, Alex?
I do remember.
And we were complaining about that. I want to do something else with my time.
Yes, I told Mariella this, but um I watched some of our old videos from our very beginning, and I feel like when I look back, I'm like, although me and you are the same, like I see us as the same because I know who we are, but like what we're talking about and how we're talking about it, we are different. We are
Because we're so
different.
far away. We are different when we're together. See each other every day, right?
That too, but I think life has, like, the world has changed. Our world has changed. How we
Yes, of course.
view and experience the
So
world
much.
has changed. Whereas at that time, we were talking about, ah, the possibility, like, what if these changes that will come? Like, there was this, like, I'm going to use the word naivety. And
Yeah.
even for myself, because I always felt like, oh, I know this stuff because, I do my shadow work and I work darkness and da, 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 da. And you're all like, love and light, Alex. Like,
Can you remind me of what I used to say to make you feel better? I need that.
oh, that made me feel better.
No, I was like, what did I tell you? Oh, it's an illusion. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
And that could feel very unvalidating of my experience.
That's true. But I was trying to make you feel better.
Yes. Yes. But when I think back to where we were and where we are, like, there's been so much heaviness and like reality and truth. That actually, that word lands the best. Truth. Truth of this reality, like that we're living in this body, these human forms. Truth in understanding our world, I think a little bit more, but truth in understanding like a rootedness in our knowing, like the greater expansion of knowing. I don't know if you would agree or disagree with that, but when I looked back, I was just like, oh, life was so easy back then. Life was so simple. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can make everything complicated, but it was so much easier.
Yeah, at the same time, we are at this point in time where we feel that we can give more.
Yes. Again, we also trust more. We trust ourselves, we trust the universe. There's more
And
trust.
we have learned many things.
Yeah, we have capacity beyond what we knew we would need. Just imagine what the next few years are gonna bring. Girl.
Yeah, when we are like 80.
No, I'm talking about, like, the next 2 years.
Oh, only 2 years. So 2026.
Mhm,
Can't wait to see.
mhm,
I'm just feeling that, and I was talking to some friends and my husband as well about this. I'm like being pushed to do things I'm not comfortable with. And they're not really like bad things, but I feel so uncomfortable going out of my comfort zone.
mhm,
And you were always telling Mariella, telling me, you need to go farther. Like, why do you want to stay there?
mhm,
I'm like very comfortable here. Why would I want to go anywhere else? But then life just forced me to
mhm.
go through changes.
Yeah,
And it has been challenging for the last 4 years.
mhm,
But I've also found many, many people that are part of my new social network. I
mhm.
feel so, how do you call that?
Help?
Supported.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. I've always loved challenging myself, and I still do, but I had to start doing it alone, is what it feels like. Like, I've always felt like I had the safety nets around me, or I've always had, and now there's been layers of, no, I gotta do it on my own. I have lovely connections and people, but yeah, there's just something about the aloneness that for some reason, I've needed to experience.
And that's like a bit uncomfortable for you too, right?
That's the
Because
part.
you are a Sagittarius.
If we were to say my greatest fear is around being alone, like, so I'm having to face those parts of me while I do all these things that are important to me and like growing. Whereas you have, I mean, you have lots of wonderful relationships but like you're being forced to go out of yourself even more than
Yeah,
ever.
I feel really comfortable by myself. I'm doing things on my own. Like I feel I can conquer my world without nobody, like without people in my life. And I have had to, because I was left without my support people when our program was closed, and then when they announced the other program was closing. So I
Mm,
had to move to do different programs. I felt I had no choice but help um, build this community for
mm,
my own sake.
yeah.
When
Mhm,
I was like, when we were in healthy families, I just felt like I was so well taken care of.
mhm.
I didn't have to worry about how things worked or if somebody was not doing well because we were there.
Yeah. It was that beautiful opportunity, and I try and remind like people I work with, like in the program I facilitate, like, but sometimes because people are like, I don't want program to end, I don't want program to end, and I'm like, I get it, you don't want program to end because this has been like a safe, supportive place. My hope is that you can know what this feels like so you can go and bring it to other places. Like now you know, you have some tools, some awareness. Now, how can you translate that into your world, you know? And so, kind of like us, we had this like really amazing net where there was still conflict and challenge. You freaking nailed it, Mariella. I was so proud of you dealing with the things you had to deal with. But
Without good cries, didn't happen.
um but and it's like then we need to bring this out into the world. We need to bring that amazingness of our team and know that yes, like it's now up to us to share that and create that in other places. Like it was time. And I love how you bring cards to every team that you're in now.
Yeah,
Let's
one more thing before we go because we are about to close. Um, I just got two cards for I was meaning for what was it? I think it was for the full moon that is coming up. And for some reason, I got the month of May
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
and a basket that is full. And so I don't know, the May card doesn't have a message, but it's a beautiful tree with flowers
Mm-hmm.
and a little like how do you call that? Spring
Yeah.
running down. And the basket says recognition reward for merit.
Mm-hmm.
And so just feeling the energies ahead, I think they are just like giving up some hope that there will be like rough times and like the diamond, the gift, the Jonah, like we will have so much to reap after, like
Mm-hmm.
so much to harvest.
And I've heard about I'm going to say I've heard about positive shifts, or not positive shifts, but some like planet alignments that are going to happen in May that are actually going to be really supportive.
Yes, me too.
There's many things going to take place, obviously, but that I think it might be like a Jupiter or Venus transition,
Mm,
something that is going to be something. I forget.
yeah.
May.
And I heard that it's a really good year for finances for everybody.
Yeah, the year of eight.
Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, so flow with the river.
Mhm. Yeah. Trust. Um, okay. Thank you, everyone. I hope that this was supportive in your journey and reflecting on the month of March as it actually begins to arrive, gives you some little tidbits of things you can um, reflect on during the time. I'm really excited to see if this, like what happens with the eclipses, and you talk about like how people have referred to those 3 days. Very excited.
To
Very,
see what happens.
yeah.
Yeah, me too. Let's see. We will report what happened next time.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Mariella.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a wonderful new moon. Have a wonderful um, new astrological season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.